Suicide ref. Let's talk about the weekend's rugby, first and foremost.
That's coming up.
Past weekend. I want to get to Argentina. Fair fucking play to the boys, okay? The Lions are a great team, hands down. And maybe you could argue that this was maybe a trial run out, trialing some new positions. I don't think Marcus Smith playing at 15 is the right choice. I don't think Finn playing at 10 is the right choice, in my opinion. But they were
the wrong Finn is playing.
The wrong Finn. But even so, I think Marcus should be playing 10, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
I've said that all along. And I do think also, I think Faz needs to come in and play 12 because he'll make Marcus a better 10. I said that way back when, but anyway.
Did you listen to his punditry before the game? It made me wonder, why is Owen Farrell not on that tour? Because just the way he analyzes like the opposition and the game plan, he's brilliant. He was really good. I really enjoyed him.
I feel like, and you mentioned this last week off air, but you said this is going to be like a Andre Pollard moment in the World Cup for South Africa.
Yeah.
The Lions are going to get, unless Andy Farrell has this kind of go fuck yourself type of approach and his attitude where he's like, I'm not going to pick my son because everyone expects me to pick my son. So I'm not going to do that on principle. And if he does that, then I think he's cutting off his nose for spite his face, because like you say, he's primed, he's ready, he's fit, he's good to go. There were moments in the game, not before, but during, where the camera zoomed in on Faz and the whole crowd went apeshit. They were like, why the fuck isn't he in the team?
Well, some context there. If the Lions were leading by 20 points, would they have got that reaction?
No.
I think it's because they were losing that people were like, oh shit, maybe we need to pivot here, pun intended. But yeah, maybe there's an argument for him to go on to. Look, I think great for the RGs. It's only the second time. They're the only team in history that hasn't lost to the British Lions. They've played them twice. They drew one, and they won the other one.
And it was a sensational game as a neutral, as someone watching. Like the RGs were good value for money. They played well. They took their chances. They were given a few chances, but they took them.
I am going to get stick for this because we do live in the UK, but I was very happy that Argentina won. I also want Australia to win this series. It's highly unlikely. I still think the Lions will. No, but hear me out, because Australia languishing at 7th or 8th in the rankings is just unacceptable. We spoke a lot about that golden era of Australian rugby, them being top 2, winning the Bledisloe Cup, that Gregan, Larkham, Latham, Roth, those guys. They need to be up there again. I'd like to see them be more competitive, and I think nothing will reinvigorate or reinject some passion and energy into their rugby structures than a series win against the Lions. This is, apart from the World Cup, the biggest thing in the next couple of years. So it'll be great for Australian rugby. That's the only reason. I'm not an Aussie supporter.
No, but
I think it'll be good for rugby if they can somehow pull off a series win. And I think what Argentina proved is it's really doable. In saying that, first game out for the Lions, they are rusty. These guys haven't played together.
Am I right?
It's going to take some time for them to gel as a unit, right?
Really?
Absolutely.
How many of them played together previously? Like,
Made Aki and Tuipulotu. Like, it's a new centre pairing. They've never played together.
they played together when they were cousins back home in New Zealand.
Yeah, okay, fair point. No, but I also don't think that will be Andy Farrell's starting lineup. I think he'll make some changes.
Of course he has to.
Gibson Park will come in, Finn Russell will come in. You'll see some changes on that side.
You have to. Fair play. Fair play to Argentina. Fair play to Contepomi. He's done amazing with that team. So I'm so looking forward to this Lions tour. Starts on Saturday against the Western Force. Come on, 10 a.m.
Perth, your old home territory.
Yeah. It'll be a humdinger regardless. Get the champagne flowing with a bit of orange juice. 10 a.m. You're off and away.
I'm waking up with a brandy in my hand, dude.
Eggs and bacon, brandy and Coke.
It's called a Buddha Mimosa. It's a brandy and Coke.
I'm learning.
Who cares about champagne and orange juice?
He's my oracle. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so that is coming up on Saturday. Exciting. The Lions is exciting because it only happens once every 4 years. But the Bokke are back.
The Barbarians,
the best team in the world, are back in action.
Yeah. Right. I'm just going to read off some names for you. Right?
Because the squad has been announced. The team has been announced. The starting lineup.
The team squad has been announced. Apalele Fassi. Amazing. Cheslin Colby. No need to... It goes without saying. Jesse Creel, Damien Dialander. Best centre pairing of all time? No,
maybe not of all time. But, I mean,
Kudley Aronza.
Nothing.
Sasha Feinberg, Montgomery. What do you mean? Like, I don't need to give them their flowers because they've got them already. They're all
legends already. World Cup winners, all of them.
Mornay Vandenberg. That's
a bit of a left field one. I actually
Good
thought.
Good luck to you, boy. Like, we're behind you.
To be honest, I have no issue with Sasha being there because I know
Sasha's fit.
Unre's just moved back to South Africa from Leicester, so he'll probably take some time off and give Sasha game time. Let him grow in that position. Let him build his caps for 2027.
Sure.
I am surprised with Krappies at 9, but only because Faf was out for the most of last season. He's back in the squad.
Nice.
And I thought this will be a good opportunity to get Faf back in the mix, have him play. But he's not even on the bench. So, I don't know. I don't know what the story is. But again, Rassi's building depth as deep as the Mariana Trench, dude.
I mean, upon team.
We can field 2 teams in the next World Cup at this rate.
It'll be amazing.
Luckily, no one in the comment section is going to say we're arrogant.
No, of course not. Okay. And if that was the case, it'll be South African A versus South African B in the final. It'll be a foregone conclusion. Let's keep it like open and wide.
Okay, fine.
Right. Number 8, Jean-Luc Dupré.
Interesting one again because
personally I feel like he's earned that spot.
He's been consistently good in England for the Sale Sharks. Jasper, I think, still struggling with a bit of a niggling injury. Cameron Annakom's out for the season, unfortunately. I
was gutted.
I thought this was the season that he was going to step up. Evan Roos is, who knows what his relationship with Rassi's like. Rassi's saying there's no issue, but maybe we'll see him get a run on at some point. But there's happy for Jean-Luc.
Wherever there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, but Jean-Luc's been in and out of the squad for the better part of 6-7 years, but great opportunity for him to show what he's made of at the back of the scrum. No issue there.
Vincent Stuka.
I'm happy for the man, dude. Honestly,
the citizenship.
He just came
through.
Yeah, he qualifies. So finally, South Africa's got one import. Right, from the Congo. Yeah. I think he's from the Congo, right?
He's from the DRC.
Yeah, he's from the Congo. So. But very happy for him. He's been one of the great Sharks players.
And his brother.
In the past URC season. Like, he's been monster. He deserves his place. Sure. Last year, Pepsi Buthelezi got a chance. This year, Vince gets his chance. I think it's well deserved. He's been awesome. I'm happy for him. Peter Steph's still injured, so they can give it to anyone.
No, but
because he'll keep that position warm until Peter Steph's
Vincent Chituka has deserved. He's played exceptionally well for season upon season. He's been waiting for qualification. It's finally come through, and fair play to Rusty. He's picked him.
Yeah, love it.
Captain, my captain. Can't say anything. He's already on my Mount Rushmore. Go and take a look. And I fucking love the boy. So fair play. Number 5, Lut Diaga.
Good to have Lut back. To be honest, I didn't think when Lut got injured in 2022, I mean, he missed the World Cup. He was out for the whole of last year. He hasn't played in 2 seasons. I literally thought that's the end of his career. He's not going to make a comeback because we've bred so much talent and depth at 5 lock. It's great to see him back in the squad. I'm super stoked to see Lut back. Interested to see what he can do. I mean, we don't know what the Barbers side looks like, but he's going to come up against some tough opposition. And I love that combo.
Yeah.
Lut and Jean Klein.
Jean Klein, you just mentioned.
Back in the squad.
Also, came in for the squad after playing for Ireland. Then went out into a bit of obscurity for a little while, and now back in again.
Yeah. But I love it because the doors never closed. And I mean, it gives the players a lot of hope. Like Rassie is telling the entire player pool of South Africa, the doors never closed. Play well and I'll pick you. Play well and I'll pick you. That's it.
And do you know what? I love that. If you're a player and you've been not cast out, but you fall out of favor, whatever, and you just mentioned Evan Roos, there's always a pathway back. And I think in the current South African setup, as it has been for the last 5-6 years, it's a meritocracy. If you are the best player in your position, the court of public opinion will get you in there just simply by the fact that you cannot be left out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
So I think if you're struggling out there and you're not in contention, there's always a roadmap back.
Yeah.
Fair play to the...
Right, who's tight head? Because I want to see you take a go at that name.
Asinatin Kwabakanya.
Well done, Matt.
So
He's a legend.
Asinatin Kwabakanya is a legend of a player.
He's one of the hardest tacklers in the URC. Like, I love it because the jersey never fits. He's easily the biggest prop in World Rugby currently. But he scrums bloody well. He makes his tackle.
Solid.
He's so mobile for a big guy.
For a big lad, he gets around,
how he moves around the park.
Yeah.
So when I saw him in the squad, I had absolutely no issue with him being there. I don't think he's our first choice tight head with a guy like Wilco Lowe, Vincent Cox still around. Wilco walks into any Springbok side.
To give the lad a go.
I love it. I love it. He deserves to be there.
Sometimes I think you give a lad a sniff and it's like, oh, I can be at this level. And then their game consistently increases. And maybe this is what Russ is saying. It's like, look, we've seen that you can be at the level of the guys that you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
Maybe this is your opportunity. Show us what you can do.
Absolutely.
And I think this is...
And against the Barbars, because it's not a taste, it's a friendly, but it's going to be a tough game.
Some bloody good players in that
There'll
Barbars
be some
side.
good time. Yeah. Good players. Yeah, he's going to scrum against Kian Healy at some point. That's no slouch.
That's
a bit of a taste.
Your man is coming off peak. I know he's just retired, but it'd be tough to scrum against him on any given day.
Absolutely.
Monday to Sunday. Number 2, my wife's favorite person of all time, and she would literally swerve me for him if he's coming down the road, Malcolm Marx.
I've seen his wife swerve him for Malcolm Marx, so that's not even a lie.
And it was just a cardboard cutout. I was like,
he was in a shop window.
Yeah, it was in the shop window.
Like he's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Yeah.
But okay.
Malcolm
Great to see Malcolm back.
Yeah.
He doesn't start that often, so it's great to see him in a starting position and not see him coming off.
He's more traditionally coming in with the bomber squad.
Yeah.
But, I think he deserves a starting role. I like him as an impact player, don't get me wrong. But your man is just one of the best hookers of all time.
He is technically sound. Good to have him back.
And then
love Malcolm.
And then flanking him on the other side is the man, the legend, Oxenchair.
To be honest, mate, I played hooker in matric. They could have picked me at hooker for that game, and with those two props, they could have picked Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Picked Fuff at hooker. Honestly, because with those two props, you're not going to move backwards. What can you say about Oxy? He's been good for the Sharks in an up and down Shark season. A lot of people said he should have been at least nominated, if not have won World Player of the Year, IRB World Rugby Player of the Year last year. He was that good.
I think it would have been a fair shot. And am I right in saying no prop has ever won that?
No, they don't give it to the props. They give it to all the flashy players.
I know this, and this is my point, is that even though he's not flashy, the work that he did was so influential that you could turn around and go, that boy deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Matt, you locked your phone too early. Who's on the bench?
Oh, I didn't see. I might have just screenshotted.
I'll edit this out.
Right. No, you don't have to. Right. We'll go through the subs. Minus Fundamova.
Yeah, which we know very little of, but it's again a good opportunity for a young lad.
Yeah,
to show what he's made of.
Jan Hendrik Wessels.
I am the biggest fan
so chuffed
of
about
Jan
that.
Hendrik Wessels.
Of course you are.
They must just stop screwing around with him at hooker. I know he can cover hooker, but he's a loose head prop, mate. I mean, if you watched that game against Glasgow when the Bulls played Glasgow in the URC, he was a man-possessed, best player on the field. Absolute legend. I think he's got a long career ahead of him.
Nice.
Love him.
Anything for Shear?
Hey, great for him to get a shout. I mean, he's been the Stormers' best prop and the anchor of their scrum for many, many seasons now. A lot of people say he's been knocking on the door. He's got a lot of fans down in the Cape. So good for him to get a shout.
Fair. Double World Cup winner, Franco Mustard.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just came off a long season in Japan, so, probably just ease him off the bench. I know he's been struggling with injury last year, but legend. Absolute legend. Good to see him back.
Double World Cup winner, Kwagga Smith.
Kwagga, the legend. I mean, he plays his best rugby off the bench in any case. That's my personal opinion.
Impact.
Every time he starts at 8, he has, a decent game, but when he comes off the bench with 20, 15 minutes to go, he injects that energy, wins some turnover balls. He's so dynamic.
I always say the same thing. Whenever he plays at 8, I'm always excited. I always hope that he has a great game. And then whenever he's like either subbed or it's the end of the game, I'm like, can we just have him as an impact player? Please?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
So, also a double World Cup winner, I think. Kobus Granach.
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, Kobus is a double World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great to see him. I mean, he's moving to the Stormers now.
Lovely to have that bench just laden with...
If things go wrong...
Yeah, just chuck him on.
Which every now and again it can go. If you pick a youngish side, you bring that experience on. But Reinach, I mean, he's got a lot of experience and he's still playing great rugby. He's going to the Stormers now. So it'll be great to see him back in South Africa.
Andre Esterhuizen as well.
Yeah, good to see him sort of feature in the squad more regularly. He was also, again, over the last 7 years under Rassie. Made his debut in 2018. In and out. Didn't go to the World Cup in 2019, but he seems to now be a permanent fixture in the squad at least. And
in the wider squad. I feel like he hasn't had the same kind of year that he had playing for Harlequins that he has had playing for the Sharks.
That's a fair comment.
I like when he was playing here in Europe, he seemed to just be a man possessed. He seemed to just be like winning man of the match awards left and right. He just seemed to be, and then he's gone to the Sharks and he's had an okay season, but most, if not all, of the Sharks have had an okay season. So I don't know if that's something that we can lay at his feet, but I just feel like maybe this is the opportunity for him to kind of show again that he is worthy of being in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we know very little about the Barbars.
One final selection in that is Mani Liebach.
Oh, of course.
No.
Mani.
Let's not be judgmental. Let's not be horrible.
Mani's had his moments in the Springbok team. It's interesting because I saw the news. I don't know where he's going, but he's leaving the Stormers. By all accounts, he's going to Japan. I don't know what that'll do for his Springbok prospects, but Rassie's always backed him, to his credit. At this point, I don't know if it is Rassie just saying, I backed him, so I just have to sort of see it through and prove the doubters wrong. We're not going to win a World Cup with Mani at fly-off. It's that simple. Bring me Sasha, bring me Andre.
I'd be
fine.
I'd be hate for us to be proved wrong. I'd hate for Rassie at some point in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years to turn around and go, those two fat pricks in the UK knew fuck all about what they were saying. Look at Mani.
We probably don't. And no. I trust Rassie implicitly. Like he can pick.
Of course.
He can bring Elton Yankees back, and I won't argue.
Really?
In Rassie, we trust.
Just checking you're gonna have a.
Mate, I haven't won 2 World Cups. Okay, so
exactly.
I know there's method to the madness. I just, as a fan, I don't feel Mani's ever produced the goods really consistently at Springbok level.
I think for us, the thing that we feel as fans is when Mani's on the pitch, he has the ability to have the razzle dazzle to turn a game on its head with one flash moment, right? He can make an outrageous pass or like be on one side of a wall and then on the other, and you go, how do you do that?
And he often cancels it out. He'll do something brilliant and then immediately cancel it out with a cross kick that goes directly into touch.
But it's that inconsistency that we as fans look at it and go, we're not confident in you. And then when someone like Andre Pollard comes on, we're like,
we're all breathed.
Yeah, your man is going to see it through. And I feel like that kind of perception is something that is carried not only by us as fans, by the rest of the team. When you've got Mani on the field, you think, shit, he might get us a try or whatever, but he also might kick it into touch behind himself and put us into a position of like disrepute. Whereas when Andre comes on, you're like, Mr. Solid,
Yeah,
going to see
even
us
if it's
through.
less flashy and it's more pragmatic, it's fine. Then you know what you get and it's at least consistent.
Yeah.
But it's no criticism. Again, what can we do? Like you say, two fat bricks. That should be the name of the show. Two fat bricks
who can't high five. We love you, Marnie. We are backing you. We hope you go well.
Prove us wrong, please, mate.
Please
yeah,
prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. So we know very little about the opposition, about the Barbars. I haven't seen a complete squad, but they've got some big names. Conor Murray, Cian Healy, Sam Cane. Robbie Deans is coaching them, so I'm sure that they'll pull a decent squad together. I haven't seen the final team announcement, but they're playing in Cape Town.
Any South
It's going to be a
Africans?
great game.
Any South Africans?
Not that I'm aware of the top of my head, but they could be. There could be a couple.
Pull a few from
maybe
local.
some of the guys that didn't make the Springboks
Like,
could be with the mix.
They couldn't get on the plane. Do you guys want to come play?
That's happened often, mates. I mean, there was a World 15 that toured South Africa in 1989. It was like a combination of the greatest players in the world, and they had like guys from the Free State playing on the wing because they couldn't get the players in South Africa in time. So that's happened often, but we'll see what happens. In some other news that we wanted to talk about, Jake White, is he leaving? Is he staying? What's happening at the Bulls?
Well, you're a massive Bulls fan. You're a massive Bulls supporter.
Doesn't mean I've got the lowdown on what's happening on the.
I reached out to a couple of people in the know, people connected and close to, and they said to me that all of the rumors are true. And we were discussing how it's such a coup for Jake White to have had Andre Pollard, Jan Serfontein come back, not from obscurity, but come back to play for the Bulls, which is an endorsement on his coaching abilities. You know, the fact that he was able to lure them back. I don't know. I'm not part of the Bulls setup, so I don't know if he was key to that. But I would assume that he would be. Like, you look at any other sport.
A coach is key. There's no way that you reach 3 out of 4 finals and you can't give the coach some credit.
Some accolade.
And Jake has got that track record. When he coached the Springboks, he went from what happened in 2003 with Stoldraat and us exiting in the quarterfinals against New Zealand and all of that shit under Stroily. And it took us to world champions in 4 years. We won the Tri-Nations the year he became a Springbok coach. He did the same at the Sharks. Coached them for 1 year, took them all the way to the Super Rugby final. He did the same with the Brumbies. Coached them for 1 season, took them to the Super Rugby final. He did the same at Montpellier. He won the Challenge Cup with Montpellier in one of his first couple of seasons. So he's got success, you know, and he is a good coach.
He's a World Cup winning rugby coach.
But the thing is I think Edgar Rathbone and the guys have just pumped too much money. Willem Strauss and the top brass. They've invested too much in that side, and unfortunately, playing in 3 out of the 4 finals and not winning one of them, that makes it very, very difficult. Like almost just isn't good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the other teams don't have that same high standards, but as a Bulls fan, like that hurts. I can tell you now, and even in Pretoria, nothing other than winning the competition is good enough. Not even losing in a final. That's not good enough. It's not good enough.
And I feel for Jake because again I come back to the point. He's had a history of plucking players out of obscurity, players that were maybe past their sell-by date, players that were maybe thinking that their careers were finished and gone. Tondrai Chivanga is one. I think he was playing in Wales and he brought him back to play for. And then Bob Stinstad, I think, is another.
Yeah, he brought Bob back. Absolutely.
There's
Oosterand, Percy.
These boys who ended up being World Cup winners as a consequence of what he did. And I think, if I'm right in saying, when Jake took over from the Springboks, after all that bollocks, he put like World Cup as like the target on the whiteboard. And everyone laughed. And he was like, we're going to win it. So the man is gifted at what he does. But as I understand it, his biggest gripe at the moment has been he doesn't have the players. And the gripe that he has been, at least from what I watched after the Leinster game, was he was saying Leinster are littered with like world-class internationals. This is a team of internationals put together.
Mate, for all other 15 teams, including the rest of the Irish teams, it's going to be difficult to compete with Leinster because they get all their funding from the Irish Rugby Football Union, and they've got the power of the Euro behind them. So the big question now is if it's confirmed and Jake goes, then who replaces him? There's a couple of names that's been thrown
Johan
around.
Ackermann is big.
A big one is Johan Ackermann, who's currently coaching the SA under-20 side and doing okay with them. But we saw what he did with the Lions when they came back into
very well.
They were relegated from Super Rugby. They came back into Super Rugby and then they played 3 finals. But again, didn't win one of them.
The final.
But he built that team very much like Heineke Meyer built the Bulls in the early 2000s. So he's renowned for building a team. So what can he do with a team that's already got 7, 8, 9 Springboks? You've got Serfontein and Pollard coming back. Like, it's an established side. You know, what can he do with that sort of firepower? I rate Johan Ackermann. I also rate Franco Smith. But I think Franco, the only way he'll get back to South Africa is if he takes over the job from Rassie. And then the other big one is the legend up here north, Johan van Graan. He won the treble with Bath. And he's an ex-Bulls man. And his dad was CEO of the Bulls for many, many years. So his roots are in the Bulls.
JVG has done exceptionally well.
He's matured as a coach.
So he was at Munster first.
He was. Yeah.
And I think, he didn't do very well at Munster. They didn't win. And then they offered him another contract and he declined it and went to Bath.
Yes.
And they didn't do well in the first season, but he has revolutionized their team.
Yeah, they lost in the Premiership final last year. They won it this year.
Fair play.
Won the Challenge Cup. I mean, they on winning ways, and he's really built a squad. And again, apart from a couple of internationals like Ollie Lawrence, Thomas Latoy, and Will Stewart, they've got a couple of internationals, but not a superstar team. But he just got that team to play as a cohesive unit, and they're playing some great rugby.
So the question is then, can someone like that who takes a team of non-stars, let's call them that, but all of whom are good in their own right, and he makes them great collectively, can he go to the Bulls and make a team of great players better? That's
the question. You know, you look at a guy like Heineke Meyer, who's an absolute legend at the Bulls, right? He always said that he loves developing teams. And I think you get 2 types of coaches. You get coaches that can take a team that's a bunch of superstars, gel them into a cohesive unit and go and win something. Jake White's really good with that. Takes, big names, tweaks a couple of things in the system and goes and wins. Same with Rassie. A guy like Heineke Meyer is someone who builds a team, and he needs time and he needs to develop these players, not just as players but as people. I think Ackermann fits that mold, and I think Johan van Graan fits that mold. Like, they need some time with a team and help them grow and develop into something. But I don't know. Maybe they pick someone locally. Maybe they bring in someone like, I don't know, Joey Mongalo or someone locally that's coaching at the Lions. Maybe. Who knows?
I have a question. If that's your observation of Jake, where he's someone that takes a team of greats and makes them greater, are the Lions doing themselves a disservice by shooting themselves in the foot now by bulleting him now?
The Bulls, you mean?
The Bulls, sorry.
Yeah.
Because he's been to a couple of finals. Who else is out there that can take them from finals to finals win?
Maybe he's still the right man for the job. The problem is he's lost the locker room. So if you've lost the locker room and the players, suddenly there's tension and there's issues. I don't know. Famously, Jaco van der Walt, he brought him back from Edinburgh. And apparently, I don't know, this is hearsay, but I've heard from a couple of sources that there's some personal issues between him and Jake just doesn't want to pick him. I don't know how true that is. I can't vouch for that. But again, if these accounts are true and that the players sort of work together to get him out, if you've lost the players, mate, there's damage is done. Then it's time to move on.
You're pretty fucked.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's still some time. We're going to enjoy the international season.
It'll be interesting to hear your comments. We'd like to hear. Clearly, there's going to be some Bulls fans that are out there. What do you know? What do we not know? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Should Jake stay? Should he be bulleted? And if he is bulleted, who would you get to replace him?
Yeah, great question. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll do this again next week. Cheers.
Cheers.